even though it seemed to take a while for her to get sort of her groove back and get into the scene. This seems like old news, but guess what? Everybody has a podcast. Did you know Gavin Newsom has a podcast? Everyone has a podcast. I have podcasts. But this is a podcast that's actually really famous, actually pretty much people watch for the guests that are on there. And the guests that went on this podcast, oh boy. Monica Lewinsky went on the podcast for Call Her Daddy and reflected on her affair with former President Bill Clinton, which doesn't seem like it's real news these days. But since we have another person in the White House that's just sort of doing all sort of crazy damage, we were looking for the nostalgia days of back when Slick Willie was running things. However, Monica Lewinsky, doesn't have the fondest ideas about that because she talked mostly about the scandal that was the Lewinsky scandal. And she believes that in great decency, Bill Clinton should have resigned after the scandal. Lewinsky suggested that Clinton could have addressed the nation and just did what he did and took the matter private, choosing to step down rather than lying about it and basically impacting her future going forward. Because, not to be flip, it is kind of about her. He basically went on like, I did not have sex with that woman, and had Hillary was standing by her man and whatnot, and then turned like, you know what, maybe I did have sex with that woman. My bad. And it basically ruined her young life at the time and turned into a whole lot of topsy-turvy stuff, which I would say eventually she overcame, but not exactly in the way you would think. She emphasized that while the relationship was consensual, the power imbalance was, he was the president, she was an intern at the White House. She was happy for the attention, but it wasn't like she was going to run away. It was, it wasn't like she was going to do anything for that one. This was the late 90s. At 22 years old, there wasn't much Lewinsky could do as a White House intern, but essentially succumb to all of the actual malice and evilness that went towards her going forward, as people were basically condemning our first black president. Oh yeah, we're going there. It's a whole big thing. But she believes life would have been better for her, probably, and maybe for the nation, maybe, if President Clinton did the right thing, did the moral thing, and stepped down because of the issue. Now, since that time, we have other presidents who have done other things, some things more immoral than others, if you will. But it's a sign of the times, reflecting for the backwards times. Or Monica Lewinsky, which I looked at some pictures of her. It could have been, the Today Show, the third hour today could have been Hoda and Monica Lewinsky. She could have had some sort of career that level of stuff. But she had to deal with the Clinton stuff, which was very big on her life. And as many folks say, folks who love and hate the Clintons, they seem to get away with everything, including some of those things as well. She has become, Ms. Lewinsky, a advocate for bullying, cyberbullying specifically, and public shaming, and drawing her personal experience to raise awareness on the impacts of online harassment, because it's a whole different ballgame in 2024 than it was back in the 90s. It's a lot easier to get on the bad side of harassment, so she's out there fighting for people who do get on that side.